Alrighty, guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is Baseball and Whatever. We are still kicking off our E3 reactions. I believe this is the final day of E3, which was closed out with Nintendo. So we're going to talk about that. If you haven't seen us before, we are Baseball and Whatever. We do podcasts, we do YouTube videos, we cover baseball, video games, movies, TV shows, top 5 lists, James Bond, Star Wars, Batman, superheroes. Greg, am I missing anything?
Probably, but we've done it. So.
We've done it. We've had tons of interviews. If you know Andy Reiner of Game Informer, we've interviewed him. We've interviewed Joe Darlington, who is an author of Being James Bond. We've interviewed other podcasts. We've interviewed Dave Koenig, who is a TV historian. We've done it all. So if you, Bill, I'm sorry. See,
that's all right.
Bill's going to be mad if he listens to this. Sorry.
Sorry, Bill.
All right. It's been a long day.
It has been, and it's late at night, so yes. We're trying our best here. Damn it,
we're staying awake though.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, if you guys like what we do, check us out on YouTube, check us out on Anchor or your podcast network of choice, Baseball and Whatever. You can find us on Twitter at Baseball and What. Email us baseballandwhatever@gmail.com and facebook.com/baseball and whatever. So without further ado, our goal for today is we're going to talk about, first of all, EA revealed the Battlefield 2042 gameplay trailer at the Xbox conference, which I believe was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right?
I think
and then
so,
we're going to talk about Nintendo's conference, which I got my Nintendo stuff hanging up. You know, I've been trying to swap it out. You know, not that anybody notices.
Yeah, you do. Look at that. Look at that Super Mario Bros. Original poster right there. Is that like a... that's not a poster, that's an actual,
it's like a canvas or something.
Canvas. Oh,
GameStop, $15. Nice. That's, you know, somebody's got to keep them going, right?
I guess we do.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into Battlefield 2042. While we're talking, I got some, we'll lay some video over. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been, but perfect timing. You can see it right now while we're talking. Greg, you want to start us off just what kind of caught your eye? I thought this gameplay trailer was awesome. I thought it really got me more psyched for the game, even more so than that reveal trailer that was last week, which we did another episode on as well. But what are you thinking so far after seeing the gameplay?
Well, I think you said it right there, because when we did our initial reaction to the reveal trailer, we were happy, but we're like, okay, we need to kind of see some gameplay to kind of, start us off,
right
on our gauge of what we're gonna see here. And you to be honest, this gameplay trailer, it didn't disappoint.
No.
it was pretty wild. It was pretty action packed. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I know it was captured. What was it captured on? Series X or whatever?
I think it was Series X. Yeah. So it's got to be pretty comparable on PS5, I'd imagine.
Right. It was also the 128 player battle on there.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff happening in this.
There was shit happening every couple seconds. Like, it was hard to keep track of, right?
Well, it was a good variety. Let me say, Ben, that's what I kind of wanted to see with the gameplay video. I mean, we had a good variety. We got to look at, and you'll have to. I mean, you might have to catch me up on a little bit of this stuff, Justin. I don't know what has been done already. I guess the last two titles have been, World War I and World War II. So I kind of guess we have to go back to Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
But some of the things that stood out to me, I really like. I really like this whole kind of airdrop parachute wingsuit thing. And just and we'll get into it too, but I'll mention too the 128 map that was going on. First, you kind of have like a desolate desert area, and then you're kind of going into an urban city or whatever. And there's just a lot of stuff.
Sandstorm hits, tornado
sandstorm hits. Weather. We have the dynamic weather. We have day and night settings. I mean, we have guys rappelling across skyscrapers.
Yeah, they have the zip lines and stuff. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, are these because there is I mean, I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but there was a short part of the trailer where you and your squad are riding up an elevator on one of these skyscrapers. While you're running up the elevator, you can literally change your attachments.
Yeah, that's new. That has never been in the game.
Right, to your rifle and everything. And I'm wondering, like, are these? So we saw. I mean, it was a city. That was the map. At least the center of the map. I'm wondering how many of these skyscrapers and buildings are actually can you enter?
And
create warfare and battle in, because that just opens up, even if it's just a couple of them, that opens up huge,
Yes.
possibilities for completing objectives and stuff like that. So it looks so in depth, and just the scale of it, even when you're on the ground and just
Yeah.
looking at the visuals in front of you, I'm like, holy cow, this is like a battleground.
Yes.
This is not for like the close quarters Call of Duty style of game. As you know, Battlefield's very different.
Very,
So
yeah.
but yeah, that's one thing that definitely stood out to me. The just kind of like the inner workings of the battleground, so to speak. So
Yeah, like a couple things right off the bat. I liked how there was time of day changes throughout the map. I think in the
yeah.
beginning of the desert one, it starts in the daytime, ends at
Hmm.
nighttime. Sandstorm you can kind of see approaching, and then there's a tornado for whatever reason, which I kind of like that they just have leaned into what can we do to make this fun? Does it have
Sure,
to
yeah.
make sense? There's no single player, so does it really have to make sense? No, just make it fun.
Hmm.
The other thing I saw, and I think you probably caught it too, was one of the characters had like a grappling hook that launched him up to the top of that
Yes.
construction
That crane or
thing.
something. Yeah.
Excuse me. So there's some major like vertical gameplay as opposed to just spread out across the map was really cool. I think we talked a little bit the wingsuit, being able to just jump with the wingsuit, get into
Yeah.
the catch of the tornado and then whip yourself around.
Right.
I thought it was pretty neat that they added when you get too close to the storms, your map and your HUD starts to like pixelate, so you know that you're getting pretty
Yes.
close to being
Right.
sucked
You
up.
start to lose like the images and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was pretty cool. I loved the fact that you could airdrop tanks in. Like that was amazing. I
Okay,
thought that
that's
was neat.
that's one of the things I want to ask you about. So is that something new? Like before, I know you said on the map, like the vehicles would already kind of be, stationed throughout the
Yeah.
battlefield or something, but now it looks like we have some stuff being airdropped in.
Yeah,
So is
so
that something new?
in what I remember in 3 and 4, the vehicles were already on the map, which was nice because you could just find it, jump in and go.
Yeah.
And then Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, and I'm sure if somebody knows they can correct me, but I'm almost positive you had to either spawn in a vehicle, like it wouldn't just be sitting there randomly, like if someone
Oh,
left it,
okay. Yeah.
or you would get so many points from following objectives, and then you could call certain things in. I don't know if you could call vehicles in, but you could call like artillery strikes and things
Sure.
like that.
Sure.
The like I think you talked about too, the elevator, being able to change your gun on the fly without having to do it after you die.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
concept, right? Like as
Right.
silly as that sounds, like that's awesome for Battlefield. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you could kind of see like whoever the soldier was, he kind of had like a long range kit, and then he gets in the elevator, he's going to be in a building, and you kind of see him switching it, so it was more short range, close
Right.
quarter
Right.
stuff. So that was pretty neat. The other thing I was reading online that I guess it wasn't really depicted too much in the video, unless you kind of stopped and freeze framed it. But I guess instead of having just typically in Battlefield, you only have 4 classes. You have the what is it? The assault medic, the engineer, support, and sniper recon. Does that sound right?
I think so. You
Okay.
would know better than I.
I think those are the 4. And what they're doing now is supposedly they're going to have a variety of like, it's going to be certain soldier character types as opposed to classes.
Okay.
So each character will fall under a certain type of class, but then they will have one unique piece of gear that depicts what type of character they
Okay.
are. So you might
Okay.
pick someone who's a medic, but then there's a medic that can shoot a dart to revive people from a distance. You don't have to get up close and use the paddles to revive them. There was an
Oh, there you
example of,
go.
one of the characters who would be under the support class, I think, would have the grappling hook. Another one would have a deployable shield. Another one would have a deployable barrier. Other ones would have like EMP grenades. So they were going to really branch out the class system.
Yeah.
So you would really need, there's going to be a variety of people on your 128 person team that have different characters and skills, as opposed to like, all right, well, there's only 4 different types of classes. It's just going to be
Right.
everybody
So we have
organized.
these
Yeah.
kind of these type of players when we have it sounds like it's going to be a good mix and a good
Yeah.
while still maintaining a good
It
balance.
reminded me
So
kind of like the way Rainbow Six Siege is set up, where every character has their own like little gimmick, right?
Mhm.
It's not like
Mhm.
everyone's
Mhm.
under a certain class. So that sounded really
Right.
cool. I think I read there's only 7 maps, and a lot of people were upset about that. But I feel like if the maps are big enough to hold 128 people, It doesn't really bother
Yeah,
me
I
that much.
think, and it looks like, I mean, getting back to that that kind of urban city map, looks like there was good variety within each of these maps. You know, you get a little bit of touch of a couple
Yeah,
different things. So I think there's, at least from seeing, I mean, we saw, I think, what did we see? We saw one or two with the, because there's also the one where
the
the
Antarctic
rocket's
map. Oh
launching
yeah, and then the
to
rocket launch
the
map.
rock. So
Yeah,
we maybe got two or three. So it looks like we got pretty good variety within each of these. I mean, these are
yeah,
pretty large scale, you know, kind of battlegrounds they've
right.
developed here. So I think seven, you know, they'll probably release something more down the line. There'll probably be a
Yes.
special release or something. But, you know, with the way they're looking so far, I think that's a pretty solid start, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
to
And,
kind of
and
come
I
with
mean,
the
I know
game.
they've
So
switched to, I believe more of a like a microtransaction policy. So the map packs are free now. I want to say the last couple of Battlefields have been like
okay.
that. When you're just paying for like gun skins and character skins, which to be honest, that doesn't bother. I don't care about that. That's fine with me.
Right. If you just kind of want to tailor it to your appearance, or you know,
Yeah,
you want to tailor your appearance or
if you
something like
really
that,
want to
but
stand out.
nothing that really gives you
No,
the
no, as long
hardcore
as you're not
advantage.
unlocking guns or anything like that, I
Wasn't
think
that like Battlefront 2, the Star Wars
yes.
Battlefront
And I
2,
think
that
they
was just
learned their
like,
lesson very
right.
quickly.
I think that was kind of the guy, that was kind of like the first guy through the brick wall, you know.
That
That's the
was the
guy that just,
test and
right,
it
yeah,
failed
it
horribly. And
failed.
I think that was it. So
Unfortunately, it was Star Wars, you know, what could have been
yeah.
with that. So
That
it's like,
game's
good
gotten
God.
better. I popped it in recently because it was free on PlayStation Plus a while back,
Yeah.
and it's gotten a lot better.
Oh, has it?
But
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, Battlefield 2042. I'm all in. I don't have a PS5, but I will definitely be buying that on PS5 because I want the 128 person map. So
Oh
or
yeah.
matches, I should say. And I know there's still two or three different type of game types they haven't even unveiled yet. So
Okay. And
I
you did mention for some of our non-competitive gamers, they do have a like an option to set up bots and
Yeah, you
everything.
can play. I think they said every match, every game type, you can throw in 121 bots with you and just play to your heart's content to
That's
get used.
great.
That's
Has there ever
great.
been that many bots in a
I
game
don't, not to
before?
my knowledge, not to my
That is
knowledge.
nuts. Well, I mean, at least in the same, at least for one, you know, match, you know,
Yeah,
battle or something. I mean, that seems
but I
that
think it's really cool because you'll be able to learn how to drive the vehicles. You'll be able to
yeah.
learn how to use
Yeah,
certain
we're very
guns. You
right.
learn the
Kind of like
maps.
it's a good, you know, I mean, Call of Duty kind of did that with their with one of their modes,
Yeah.
you know, where they finally had a bot set up. It's just a good way for you to practice, you know,
Hmm.
test your stuff out without having to die 20 times, you
Yeah.
know,
Exactly. I
to
know that
finally
all too
learn
well.
the ropes, right?
Know that all too
Well,
well.
Battlefield multiplayer is not for the faint of heart. So,
No,
but
it's not. No, it's not.
definitely something I think we are looking forward to. I mean, that definitely, you know, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I could have some
Yeah,
fun with that.
that went to the top of my list pretty quick. So
The last Battlefield game I really played a lot online and was, you know, semi decent at, not the greatest shooter, but you know, was able to do some things, was Battlefield 3, which I had for
okay.
the Xbox
I
360.
remember
I
playing that a
really
lot
enjoyed
too.
that game. Yeah, really
That was
good
the one
game.
that had,
So
was it Operation Metro was one of their maps? Was that where like you're going through the subway system, so to speak?
yes, that was
Okay.
actually on their beta too, I believe, where
Yeah,
I
I think
kind
I
of
played
jumped
that.
on
Yeah.
that. And I was like, "Ooh,
There's something
this is
here.
kind of neat." Yeah, they added some new things to that game, so
I know
that was a good time.
the other thing I saw people, I wouldn't say complaining about, but were kind of questioning was they said they didn't think there'd be as much. What was the term EA used to use? It was like a buzzword. Levolution. Does that sound familiar? When you could like destroy a lot of the buildings and stuff,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like the
like Bad
destructible
Company, right?
environments, or yeah, like Bad Company,
So
right?
a lot of people were questioning. They're like, this tornado gets really close to the building, and you don't really see any damage kind of happen to the building. So I'm
Mm,
still gonna reserve judgment. I mean, the one thing I'll say about like when you knock down a whole building that size, there was a map in Battlefield 4, I think it was called Siege of Shanghai, and there's a
mm.
skyscraper which was really cool. You could fight on it, and once it took enough damage, the whole thing came tumbling down, which was really cool to
Oh
see.
no, kidding.
Yeah, it was amazing. But the problem was after it fell, the map got really boring because like that was the centerpiece
That
of the
was
map, and then
that
there
was
was
the
nothing
one
else. It
thing.
was
Yeah,
just open. So if
yeah.
they can find a way to balance that, maybe other smaller buildings still. I would assume you're still going to be able to knock holes in walls, and there's still going to be some destructibility, but
Sure,
maybe
sure.
just not the skyscrapers, which I kind of get because then there's less stuff to do on the map. I get that. So
Right, right. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at that. I didn't pick up on that one.
yeah,
So that's an interesting point they make though.
yeah,
So
yeah.
something definitely to check out. Yeah.
So all right, any final words on Battlefield before we move on to Nintendo?
No, I think we've covered it, and I think we will continue, checking, keeping up to date on this.
Yes.
And I think your PS5 hunt ambitions just grew stronger, Justin.
You
So
know, that's definitely on the list. What can I say?
right, right.
I think it comes out October. Is it October 11th? October something? Sometime mid
Yeah, that's
October.
that's usually Battlefield season.
And I know
So
they said they're going to have another EA something in July that's going to dive deeper into Battlefield. So we will, at least
yes,
I know I'll
yes.
definitely be watching that.
Right.
So
Yeah, late in July, I think they did say that. You're
yeah.
right. So
So all right,
good
cool.
stuff.
All right, well, let's jump into Nintendo. I'll be honest, this was probably the one I was kind of waiting for because I know we didn't really talk too much about Square Enix because there wasn't much to talk about there.
Yeah, I mean, what we briefly mentioned it, in our pre-production meeting. That's
Yes,
how prepared we are. Guardians of the Galaxy. I know that's going to be, they did the Avengers game what
and
year
that was a
ago or
bust
two.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, that didn't really look anything. I mean, I saw, you know, I like Guardians of the Galaxy just fine, the movies, but this game, I saw the trailer gameplay video. It's like nothing really grabbed my
yeah.
attention. Nothing really looks too exciting or fun. I don't know. What do you
No,
think about that,
no. I
Justin?
see. I don't really have any affinity for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the first movie; it was okay. The second one I actually liked more. I don't know if that's because Kurt Russell was in it. I like Kurt Russell, but yeah. I mean, the one thing I do like is I like that they're going for just single player story driven superhero
And
games,
that's a
which is
good
great.
point. Yeah, yeah.
So I give them all the credit in the world there because Avengers. That was kind of
Hmm.
the bad call against that. It was more of like a live service game, and you were just redoing the same stuff over and over again,
Right.
and it wasn't it didn't do too well. I know it kind of bombed from what I read, but
Hmm.
I like that they're going that route. But I just don't. I mean, I know the characters, you have to kind of put your own art style on it, but I don't know. No, it didn't really grab me, if that makes sense. I was just kind of like,
Yeah, I mean the voiceovers, the acting, I mean it didn't really seem, I mean that might be a credit to the actors,
yeah,
in the movie that are
sure.
just, just amazing. But yeah, this one, you obviously don't want to be a copycat, but you still kind of want to stay in the same vein, that kind of works in the
Yeah.
movies. So, I guess it's kind of a difficult ground to cover or something like that, or
Yeah, you're kind of
difficult thing
threading the
to
needle
hit.
there, right?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to hit. It's a hard thing to sell. So, it didn't really work for me. I'll be honest, but it looks great.
Yeah. If you're
It
into
looks
Guardians of the
great, and
Galaxy, I think you'll be happy.
hopefully it does well. Hopefully, appeals to fans, and it does
Yeah.
a little better than the Avengers did. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
To be honest, after watching that, it made me realize I really need to play that Spider-Man Miles Morales game. That was my takeaway. Was
Oh
like I need to
yeah,
play that. So because I haven't played that
yeah.
yet, but all right. So yeah, that's pretty much it from Square Enix. There was some Final Fantasy stuff. They didn't say anything about Final Fantasy 16, which was a bummer. I was really
Mm.
excited. There was a leak that there was going to be this Final Fantasy like slash Dark Souls game or Dark Souls style game.
Mhm.
And it was the biggest. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that. It was like the biggest.
Yeah, what was that again? That
I don't even
was
remember, Paradise of Chaos or Paradise of something.
but
It
that
did
wasn't
it did
Final
not look
Fantasy,
good.
right?
No, no.
Okay.
It was like it looked like a major like emo edge lord wannabe punk rocker
Uh,
game, and I don't.
hmm,
The
hmm.
dialogue was awful. I think they say chaos in the trailer like 7 or 8, 9, 10 times. Like, I'm here to destroy chaos. Is there chaos here? Where's chaos? We have to find the chaos. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Not bothering with
Stop
it.
saying
Yeah.
chaos.
Oh, if you Google chaos memes on Google right now, you will have. There's
There.
plenty that are hysterical.
Meme factory. All right.
Yes,
There we
yes.
go.
All right, but we will get into the other reason we're here, which is Nintendo. So,
Yes.
Greg and I are pretty big Nintendo Switch fans. I've been away from Nintendo for a long time since probably my Game Boy Color in N64. And now having a Switch again, it's been great to catch up on all these Wii and Wii U games that I never got to play. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Nintendo really brought it today. Greg, what would you like to start with? Which one did kind of jumped out to your attention, or which one are you
Well,
interested in so far?
first I need to ask before we start here, is Peter Francis Geraci still around?
Yes, he is.
I
I see
might
his
have to
commercials
I
still.
might have to call him and file, chapter 11 after these games come out, man, because I am stoked for some of these titles coming out. So
Yeah,
I got to grab my info tapes and get ready here because I'm probably going to go bankrupt. But what wasn't, there was so much to love right here, and I'm
there
way
was.
behind. I'm way behind on the
Yes,
Switch,
you are.
Justin. I've
Yes,
got
you are.
so much to do. Consider them
So little
slime
time.
part 2 video game backlog is in the works. Stay tuned for that. I mean, where do we go? I mean, we got what? Breath of the Wild. We got new Metroid. We got, Super Mario. We got, I mean, we
Everything.
got this,
Why
we
don't?
got this WarioWare. I
Yeah,
mean, did you
I've
see that?
never
Like, wow,
I've never
that,
played any of
that was
those, but
interesting, right?
I'm kind of intrigued.
I
Like,
know.
so why don't we start with Super or not Super? Why don't we start with Mario Party All Stars? Is that what it's
Mario
called?
Party Superstars. Is it
Superstars. All right.
Superstars? Yeah.
Yes. So I'll
So what
admit.
do we have going on here? This looks interesting.
So my takeaway from what I saw is they took 5 of the maps from old N64 Mario Party games, I believe.
Yes.
Maybe GameCube or just N64.
I didn't
don't
see any
know.
for game. There might have been one for the game. I can't remember the GameCube ones.
The only 2 I
all of
caught was
them.
the cake level, the cake board game from Mario Party 1, and then
Yeah,
the space level was from 2, I remember.
2. Yep.
From my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is so they totally re-upped all the graphics, totally redid all the games, redid the boards, added new characters, put everything in HD, and they took 5 of the board games, which is 5 a lot? No, but I know the Mario Party for Switch only had 4.
It's usually been around 5.
Has it been around 5?
I
Okay,
mean,
well, that's not too bad then.
even on the GameCube,
Around 5.
it was around 5 or 6.
So they took those 5, and they're just putting it out, and it's just a new collection of those, and then it's also going to have all online, so you can play. The other thing I thought was cool is if you play online or in person, you can save the game at any time and come back, so no more having to play for 2 hours, which is just a really simple solution to give people a way to finish games.
No, absolutely.
And I'll be honest, as somebody who only plays Mario Party when I have family over, I will probably pick this up just to play online and see who else is online playing. I don't know about you, but I was digging it.
Right. I always, Mario Party is obviously its best when you're with friends or family.
Agreed.
You all get together and, play the mini games and everything. And some of these classic mini games, looks like are returning too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be a good time. And Mario Party, I feel like that's kind of fallen off the map. I know we had Super Mario Party for the Switch. I don't know how that did and everything. I know you can get like eight players online, or
something
you could
like
even
that.
do 8 on 1 or 2 on consoles with all the Joy-Cons to do it.
Right.
And then I think there was one for the Wii or the Wii U. I mean, Mario Party for me, last time was, N64 and GameCube.
That's what I think of. Yeah.
We had it on the GameCube. We played it all the time. Mario Party 5 was probably my favorite one on the GameCube. So, if we get some of that classic stuff back, I mean, Mario Party's always great. The thing is just trying to find time to play with someone, but it's always it's always a good time. So and it's always so refreshing to see see it stay alive. So
but like the fact that realistically we could start a game, it could be me, you, and the girls, and we could play a game for a little while, and then if you guys got to go do something, we save it, and then the next weekend we pick it back up and
we return to it. That could be a game
sounds like
changer.
fun.
That could be that could definitely appeal to a lot of people and be functional for a lot of people. So
right off the bat, that kind of struck me. The next one that I was really excited for, as somebody who doesn't really have any affinity for the series because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, was the new Metroid Dread.
Yes.
What was your take on that one, Greg?
Well, in 2D style.
Yeah, like the old school ones. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played Metroid Prime for the GameCube.
Yes.
But that was the last one I played, and that was more of like a first person style.
Yeah.
I'm still it's like one of those things. I know they released a lot of gameplay footage on it. I haven't seen all of it yet. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just some of the backgrounds of, in your 2D structured level are just wow, they're eye popping. I don't know. I feel like I've I need to come back to that style of game almost.
Yeah, it takes some time to get back into. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm probably going to keep my eye on it. It looks great. I have nothing bad to say about it. I'm just thinking about, me personally, what I would get out of it, right away and
Yeah.
everything. But, I mean, you see enough of it. And with a 2D game now, I could probably struggle with it because I'm not used to that level structure now and
Right.
everything.
Right.
But just to see, the one great thing about Nintendo's, I say, is like these like main classic titles. They're they
They're
just keep
good.
they just keep
And they're so polished.
they've lasted so long for a reason.
Yeah.
They'll just remain and remain, and we get so excited for them.
Yeah.
So definitely be keeping my, what is it, Dread? Is
Dread,
it
I believe.
Dread?
Yeah.
Metroid Dread. Okay.
Yeah. So like I think I played the first one on the Switch NES collection. It was
Yeah.
pretty revolutionary. The Super Metroid. I started. I need to beat that because I
Hmm.
never played any of those growing up.
Yeah.
And just the sci-fi theme, the alien theme. I'll definitely, that is probably the one. I'd say that's probably the one I'm most, well, no, there's one other one we'll talk about, but that's not coming out
Mhm.
for a while. That I'm most excited for. But the other thing I was surprised is there's been rumors that they were going to do a Metroid Prime trilogy collection
Mm.
of 1, 2, and 3, and that's been rumored for like 2 years, and nothing. Still no word on that. But I know they do
Hmm.
have Metroid Prime 4 in development as well, so maybe they're waiting for when that gets closer to release that
Okay.
at the same time. But
Okay.
yeah, no, it looked exciting. I love the old 2D style Metroidvania games. That's kind of like what
Hmm.
that Axiom Verge is. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely give this a shot as well. But
Nice.
I think a lot of people are just excited because the running joke is Nintendo doesn't really care about the Metroid franchise. Like they don't really talk about it much for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Which I
Well,
didn't know. That was news to me. But
yeah.
the fact that
Well,
they're throwing people a bone here and saying, here you go,
yeah, this has
so
got to be this has got to be shutting them up a little bit.
so
So
if
it's
if
like,
the
here you
sales
go.
numbers are really bad, then people should not complain because then they're just making a business
Yeah, it's
choice
like,
there.
here's a
So
game, go
yeah,
buy it.
nobody
Well,
buys it,
I'll,
then there's no need for it. So
I'll have to go get it now to help them out a
just to
little
help
bit.
out,
So just to
exactly.
help out. So
Yeah, the other one that caught my eye, here's another one. I think they said this was from the Game Boy Advance, which I did not have a Game Boy Advance. Did you?
I had the Game Boy Color
That's what I had
like
too.
you. Yeah.
I had I think it was teal. I think was the one I had. I think
Okay.
my sister had a Game Boy Mini, Micro, no Mini. I think it was whatever came after the
Oh
first
my
Game
God,
Boy,
I
but
forgot about
it
those.
was after the first Game Boy, but before the color. Does that make sense?
I think so.
I think it
Yeah.
was a
There,
red
there's a
one.
lot of those. Did you ever have like the DS or the
No,
3DS
I
or
never had
anything?
any of
No,
those.
no,
No,
me
never had any of
either.
those.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
Anywho.
so the next one was Advance Wars, and they're going to put Advance Wars and 1 and 2 in a collection on the Switch.
Hmm.
Which I've heard these games are awesome. I've heard it's like a tactical game where you kind of move your armies around and then you kind of battle each
Yeah.
other. And I'm assuming it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors, where like depending on if you're using air vehicles or water or land artillery or military or Marines or whatever,
Hmm.
they can do more damage. So I've heard great things about it. I'll probably check this out as well. Look pretty cool. I mean, the art style seemed kind of silly, but it seems like they redid everything graphically for this as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, see, I was like you, I was kind of a little bit unfamiliar with
Hmm.
this series. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at the gameplay and the trailers and everything. I'm like, I
It's
like I said,
different.
I just it is different. I just don't know too much about it
No,
yet.
I
So
need
it's
to
something,
do a little bit more research on it.
right. So just kind of check it out, see what it's all about. So
Yeah.
but it's kind of good to see that, like another title, like I said, resurrected again.
Yeah.
There was a demand for it, and here you go. So
I think
we'll
for
see how that
me,
does.
it's just so nice to know like that there's actual games coming out this fall because
Yeah,
realistically there hasn't been a whole lot minus a few big games here and there for other systems. But
right.
yeah, so I'm excited for that. That's another one that I'll probably end up picking up. And these are all like September, October releases.
Hmm.
And then another one that we were talking about a little bit earlier, which I don't know anything about, but it looked like so bizarre. It was kind of intriguing. Was this new WarioWare game?
WarioWare, you
Uh,
actually texted me this. I'm
I'm
like,
like, I don't know what the
wait a
hell this
minute.
is, but so yeah, WarioWare. I don't even know where to begin.
It looks like
WarioWare Get It
just,
Together is what it's called.
yeah, just a bunch of random stuff
Micro
happening with
games
the,
is what they kept
yeah,
calling them.
okay, with a lot of mixed graphics happening, a lot
Yeah, and
of,
like you have a timer to do certain things.
right.
Like I saw one of the games was you're plucking a bodybuilder's like armpit hair. Another one was trying to rock like a bassinet for a baby so it doesn't wake
I
up. Another one
I
was like you had to take your controller and like squish out the toothpaste onto a toothbrush. Like really bizarre shit. Like, but I could
It's
imagine if you had a group of people sitting in your house playing that, you'd probably
right.
have a
You're
good
probably
time.
right. Right.
I don't
I
understand.
when I watched the trailer, when you texted me and I immediately watched the trailer, I'm like, this
What
is
did I
so
just
weird,
watch?
but I'm
Yeah.
just so intrigued by
Yeah.
this. Like, I want to play this right now. So
Like part of me, I feel like I could see myself getting it if I knew I had a consistent amount of people over to play it on a regular basis, or if it's,
yeah.
multiplayer online play you could do. But to sit and play by myself, I probably wouldn't do that. But I will definitely, I'd probably say I have this on my quote unquote watch list. Like,
Definitely on the
there's
watch list.
potential.
Yeah.
There's potential.
Hmm.
So, after that, was there any more before we get to the really big one at the end? Do you have any others that you wanted to touch on?
Let's see. What
I
did we
know, I know. They
have?
said they were bringing or they were making a new Super Monkey Ball, which I'm not too familiar with.
Right.
Um,
Did they do anything? Did you play this game Splatoon?
yes, I played the
Uh,
second one. They did not
Two
do
was
any.
like a release title for,
Yeah, for Switch. Yeah,
and there wasn't really anything on three.
no, not recently.
It
No.
was announced, I think, back at the beginning, like January, February. But I know
Yes.
some people were looking forward to seeing some stuff on that. They didn't do anything on that. I never played the second one,
No, it was
so
okay. It
okay.
was fun. I'm curious about what they do with the third one. I feel like they need to add more to it. I feel like the online is a
Sure.
cool idea. They just gotta flush it out for more for
Yeah,
me.
just
I saw Super Smash Brothers is getting a Tekken character, which is kind of funny. I used to play Tekken a
yeah.
lot when I was a kid.
Yep.
And that game, I bought that game a couple months ago. It's a lot of fun. It's just so bizarre to have all these different characters from all these different games
Yeah, they feel
the
like
hell out of each
the
other.
library of characters has
Yeah, it's
really expanded
crazy.
from some of the originals.
It's
So,
my niece was over a couple, was it last month or I can't
hmm.
remember when it was, but I put that in for her, and her brother are big Sonic fans. So getting to see Sonic fight against Mario, they were like blown away. So
Well, they
um,
can do the Mario Sonic Olympics too. I guess they
exactly,
did
that's
that
true.
crossover too.
That's
They've done that
true.
for a while. Another thing that was absent, Justin, at least I think it was the I don't know where you stand on this, was the what you call Pokemon Legends Arceus. Am I saying that right?
Yes. Yeah, I
So
think
what
that's
we're
right.
getting here, this was announced several months ago, I think.
Yeah.
So what we have here is kind of like the kind of the first open world style
Pokemon game. Yeah.
Pokemon game. So
Yeah.
I don't
I'll
know, because obviously the last one that came out was Snap just a month or two
yeah.
ago, which is really good. Um
And then before that was
and
Pokemon Sword and Shield for Switch,
right.
which
And
was
then
okay. You
okay,
know,
I didn't play that.
I played it just because
Um
honestly, the only Pokemon game I've ever played is Blue, back on the
Back on the
Game Boy
Game
Color.
Boy,
And then
yeah.
obviously I was way into the trading card game in grade school. Like I
Yeah, so
was,
was I. And then I had, the original Pokemon Snap for
yeah,
N64,
I
and then
played a
I
ton of
had
that.
like
Yeah.
Pokemon
Yep.
Stadium
Oh
and
yeah, I remember
Stadium
that one too.
2. So this one, I don't know. This one kind of looks,
Might
kind of
be,
like going in a new direction right here. So it definitely, well, you know me, open world,
yeah. Well, I
Pokemon,
figured
anything
as much.
else,
Yeah.
get that. So except the Avatar
You can
bullshit.
you can play
But
that one in front of your kids too. That's
exactly. Well,
the nice thing
that was a whole thing with Snap
with
too. I'm
Snap.
trying to get
Yeah.
them more into it. I try to, because with the Switch, you can literally turn it
Yep.
to take the
To take the
picture.
picture.
So that didn't really go over so well with the kids, but and we'll see if we can try and get them into it more. But yeah, no, Arceus, we'll keep an eye on that one, because I'm definitely intrigued by that game. Kind of open world,
Yeah.
catching Pokemon. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like I have no interest in. I'm not going to sit around and watch the cartoons, or I know there's tons of movies. I'm not going to watch those, but like, there's something about it brings you back to your childhood, which that's what's kind of,
right.
you know what I
That's
mean?
the reason I do it. Just kind of like,
Because
oh, I used to be so,
this used to be
into
my
this.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure you and I were the same. We were like really
Oh,
into the cards
I
and
was
all
all in. I
that.
remember the
So
summer that all hit. I remember waking up at like the cartoon was on at like 6 a.m. out by us, and I would wake up at 6 a.m., watch the cartoon, then go back to
yeah,
bed.
the
So
of course.
yeah, and I know they're remaking one of the other Pokemon games. I want to say it's like
Yeah,
Diamond and
Diamond and
Pearl, which I've
yes,
never
that's
played
correct.
those, but that's more, but it
No.
looks like a more traditional, like old style one.
Mhm.
So I might check that out too if
Yeah.
if there's a lull. But Yeah. So, all right. So I guess the only other thing that I found was that they did another one of those Game and Watch clocks where it's got Zelda 1, 2, and the Game Boy Zelda on it, and it's also an alarm clock. Did you see that?
No.
So they did one of these with was it Mario or Game and Watch? I can't remember, but anyway, I'll have to send you the picture. It's literally like a
Yeah.
little, it can't be much bigger than the size of a tiny like old iPhone. And it's literally got a
Okay.
D-pad and two buttons, and it's got Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and then these Link's Awakening, I think is what the Game Boy Zelda was.
Oh,
And then
really?
you can also set it into an alarm clock. And I think it's like $40, something like that. So
I could definitely use the alarm clock
there you
part.
go.
So,
There you go. So that was it.
uh,
Yeah.
one quick thing I wanted to mention, Justin. I know, I've sound like a broken record already, but we didn't get any Donkey
No
Kong. But it's
Donkey
okay.
Kong.
It's okay. I'm not disappointed. We got a lot of great stuff, but
I'll
we'll
admit,
just
Greg,
see what the future holds.
whenever that Super Monkey Ball Blitz, whatever that game was, when that they
Yeah.
started showing bananas, I literally grabbed my phone and I started
Phone.
typing, "Holy shit, Donkey Kong's back!" And then it was like Monkey Ball, and I'm like, "Damn it, that is not
Oh,
Donkey Kong."
good thing you didn't send that text, Justin. I
Oh, I
would have
think you would have,
so
yeah,
mad
you
at
would
you.
not have been good.
What are you doing to me, goddamn? Oh, that's okay. You know what? What? I
There's
got plenty of Switch stuff to keep me busy.
Yes, and I know they said they were focusing on a lot of the stuff that was coming this year, so I gotta
Yeah,
think,
yeah, totally. Like I mean, if something's in the works, we might hear about it down the
exactly.
road.
And no,
So
before we get to the last game, no mention of the rumored Super Switch that they're. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
yeah, that's
It's going to
right.
have a better, was it a better GPU in it to
You
run
know what?
faster or something like that?
I can't say. You know what? You're right. I don't know if I'm super surprised about that
Yeah,
though. It's like, yeah, I feel like if we were getting that, like we kind of would have already known what we
yeah.
were gonna see. You know what I mean? Like we gotten the leaks and
I
everything.
feel like
So
I'm good. I don't like. I know everyone wants this. Oh, the Switch doesn't have enough horsepower in it, but I feel like the
the
Nintendo
switch, right? The
Nintendo
Switch,
isn't going for that. It's going for
right?
an aesthetic, So
Exactly. And the Switch does everything,
I could want.
that I need it to do. If
Right.
I don't need it to run better than it
No,
does. It runs perfectly for
no,
me.
I've been fine with it.
I can boost the storage if I need to with an
Yeah,
SD card, so I am set,
yeah. So
So,
I think if obviously I know there's a huge chip shortage throughout the world
yeah,
at this point. So maybe
yeah.
that's why they've held off. Also the fact that I mean like their install base on the regular Switch is so high.
Hmm.
At some point, do you then alienate those customers? Because if you do this super switch and then you start making games require that, you just alienated all your
Yeah.
customer base. But
Yep.
there's also a
Yep.
bunch of suckers out there who would buy it in a heartbeat too. So
Yep.
but yeah.
Not a problem. It took me a while to
As
get a
I'm sitting
Switch,
here
so
trying to say
yeah.
how I want a PS5.
Right.
So yeah, so overall, I thought it was really good. But the last thing that they showed and everyone's been clamoring for
Dun,
is
dun, dun,
Breath of the Wild
dun.
2,
Mercy.
which looks absolutely awesome. They answered the question of how are they going to do this with the map not being the exact same. So you're going to have parts up in the air, parts up in the sky.
Hmm.
They gave new powers to Link. I think there was one where he could kind of stop time. There was one where he was like literally turning into like a drop of water and going through the floor, which looked odd.
Crazy.
There was a bunch of crazy shit in there. But it looks amazing. So I'm all in. I think they said 2022. Give it to me. I'm ready.
You're ready.
I am all good. I can't say enough good things about that first game. Greg, you have to play that first game so we have something to talk about.
Once again, stay tuned for Consider Them Slimed
Slimed.
Nintendo Backlog version
Yes.
2 for the hate and the slime. Well, let
So
me ask you really quick,
yes.
Justin, before you continue.
Yeah.
So you were never really big Zelda guy before Breath of the Wild, is that correct?
No, to be honest, I never really played. Well, that was the other thing too, is they said they're not working on anything else Zelda related for the rest of the year. So I'm like, oh well, no Ocarina of Time, no Wind Waker, and those are games I want to get caught
Right,
up on because I've never
right.
played those. So besides the original Zelda playing at my neighbor's house on the NES and then
Hmm.
playing a little bit of Link to the Past on Super Nintendo at a friend's
Hmm.
house, I have no recollection or fondness for Zelda. So
Now, maybe I'm wrong here, but did it take you a while to warm up to this game,
it
or
took me
was
a
it?
very okay.
Yeah,
Let
because
me
there's a history here, because when you first got the Switch, Breath of the Wild was, a huge
Mhm.
title for it. It was an early title for it, and I
It was one of the first
really,
ones I bought.
yeah, And they really promoted this game, pre the launch of the
Yes.
Switch itself. So I remember I was asking you, what I'm hearing everything about the new Zelda. Tell me,
I
what
was
do
like,
you
you
think?
don't want it.
And you were a little you were a little cold to it at
A
first. I
little
mean, it
bit.
took you a while to warm up. Do you want to talk about your
Sure.
journey
Yeah. So
through the
I remember
Zelda thing
I
here?
got my Switch. I think I bought was it Odyssey? Mario Odyssey might have been the first one. I don't remember. But anyway,
Yeah.
one of the other ones I bought soon after was Breath of the Wild because everyone said it was great. It was amazing. And I started getting into it, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see this. But I was getting really frustrated because your weapons break after so much time. And you kind of need to search the entire world to find things, whether it's weapons or health, food to cook and things like
Hmm.
that. And one of the early parts of the game, which I don't think is a spoiler, but you need to go into this area it's very cold, so there's a whole temperature system, and you don't have armor or clothing that's good enough to get you there, so you need to
Yeah.
literally eat a type of food that's going to warm you up. I think it's like hot peppers. You have to cook a bunch of hot peppers.
Okay.
And I was just getting so frustrated. I'm like, this is so dumb. I have to eat this stupid hot pepper that I can't find anywhere. And then I got to
Yeah.
go run into this area that's cold. And if I don't find what I got to do, I'm going to die. And then you got to start all over. So after like 7 or 8 times, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I took it. I did the Justin move. I took it to GameStop and I traded it in because
Oh, the resell.
GameStop will buy your Switch games for like almost 35, $40. Like you almost
Uh-huh.
get the full price back, right? I
It's
think I
almost
only paid
unheard
for
of,
like I think I only paid like 45 for it anyway.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'm done, whatever. And then when COVID hit and the pandemic and everything, I was like, I need something to play. There was nothing new coming out, whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw one of Erica's friends has a Switch, and I had seen on her, like, you can see what everyone's playing, and she had put in like 150 hours into Breath of the Wild.
Oof.
And I'm like, holy cow. So I reached out to her on Facebook. I'm like, hey, okay, I couldn't get into this. What am I doing wrong? And her husband messaged me back, and they're like, all right, here's what you got to do. They gave me a few tips to get through that first
Yeah.
area. And the game was on sale again on GameStop, and I literally used the money I got from it when I traded it in. I
To buy
rebought it.
it back.
Yeah. And I've never done that before. I felt like such an asshole buying a game I traded in. And they're like, wait a minute, didn't you sell this to us?
Here we have the
You still
exact
have
same
your
one. Oh, it
copy, yeah.
still has your name on it. Look at that.
So I rebought it, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of followed the suggestions they did.
Hmm.
And I got over that first hump like within the first 5 hours. And then the game just opens up, and it's just you exploring, and you just take the game as you want. And then when you're ready to progress the story, you go off and explore in a certain spot until you get to the part that pushes the story ahead. And I did not put in 100 hours, oddly enough, but I want to say like it was like 45, 50 hours that I put into it.
A
Uh,
lot of time.
a lot of time, a lot
Yeah.
of time. And when everything was shut down, there wasn't much to do. So,
Right.
but amazing. Like I'm fully on board. That game, that's the sequel, everything. Give it to me, hook it up to my veins. I'll take it freely. So great game
Awesome.
though. Great game. So I hope
Awesome.
if you ever decide to play it, I can give you some things that will help you before you get started, so you don't get frustrated. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Because I'm a tosser. If the game upsets me, I will
you
throw things.
you will
As a
put it
former
back in the plastic wrap.
right, as a former baseball player, it'll either go in the plastic wrap or
Yes.
get tossed, at a very low velocity, not what it used to be. So no, I've grown up a little more than
Well, that's
that.
good.
So, but
That's
no,
good.
it's oh my God. I always have the Switch is always there. I mean, I'm looking at the thing right now because everything's in
Well,
front of me, and I just
when you're
I
ready for the
gotta.
next Consider Them Slimes, I'll be there. I'm
All
ready to
right.
go. And I did. I got
You're
the
ready
title
for
right.
this.
I just wanted to call that out too.
Oh my goodness, you did. This is a great day, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
it's it's a good
So
day. I mean, I've only been the subject and guest of the vlog itself. I should know the name by now. But
I was on this blog.
I
I
was on
don't
this
know what it was
vlog, something
called.
slime. I think it's about
Something
Nickelodeon.
slime.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hey,
But
hopefully they
yeah.
buy it.
So I mean, I have nothing else besides, I think, in all honesty, my wallet's going to be hurting this fall between Battlefield, Metroid, and Mario Party, and maybe Advanced Wars. We'll see. I'll have to read up on that a little bit
Yep.
more. But
Yep.
any closing remarks, final parting words, Greg, before we wrap up?
So how would you, I mean, we have, E3 was back
It's
after a
over.
year being
Yeah.
absent. It's over. So, happy, disappointed, overall pretty good,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
this
average.
is my inner nerd. I get super excited for E3 every year. I remember
Oh, really?
I was watching one of the press conferences the other day after work, and Eric's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, this is the time of the year where they announce all the new games. I got to watch
Yep.
this." And she goes, "Okay," and she just kind of walked out of the room. Um, I'd say Nintendo was my favorite conference just because there's actually stuff I want to buy.
Yep.
Um, like I said, Square Enix was a joke. I was excited that I thought Capcom would have something, but Capcom just talked about the games that they've already released, which makes no sense. I don't know what the purpose of that was. Um,
Yeah.
the Xbox and Bethesda one, Battlefield was cool. The Bethesda stuff looks neat, but again, as somebody who's
Outer Worlds 2,
I
we
saw
didn't bring
that.
up before that.
Yeah,
That's Bethesda now and
that's
an
Xbox
Xbox
only.
only.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, I'm excited for those people that'll be able to play it.
yeah.
But like I said, I'm throwing my hat with PS5. And I'll
Yep.
have to reserve judgment for once Sony has. I gotta think sometime. I bet you July they do something in July because then they'll have
Sure
all
hope
the eyes
so.
on them after E3.
Hmm.
What other conferences were there? Ubisoft was okay. The Mario and Rabbids thing has me excited. But yeah, other than that, I'd say it was kind of lackluster. But again,
Okay.
I don't know if that's anyone fault of anyone in particular. I mean, you're trying to get all this shit together. Obviously people worked from home for a year and a half, and now things are starting to thankfully finally reopen. So maybe,
Yes.
next year will be different. My big thing is really, I think you've seen that you can do just these streaming events. Do you really need a giant convention center with a bunch
Hmm.
of people? So
Yeah.
I
We
think
live in
that's
the
going to
age of
change.
Zoom now and everything and
Yeah.
all that. So I mean, we're zooming right now
Yeah.
for God's sake. So
So I mean, I hope as long as at some point in June they still, people announce what they're going to be releasing in the fall
yeah,
and what their big plans are. I'm all for that. And to
hopefully.
Nintendo's credit, I was really happy that most of everything is coming out in the next 6 to 10 months. It's not like, hey, here's this game. We're going to show you a cinematic
Right.
trailer and you won't see it again for 6 or 7 years. Enjoy. Like I
Exactly.
hate that
Exactly.
stuff,
Yeah.
So
You're 100% right there.
but yeah, what about you? Anything in particular that stood out?
So I actually want to ask you this question, Justin. I
Sure.
know I didn't tell you about it. So I want your top two Nintendo games looking forward to, and then your top two PS5/Xbox, but I guess in your case,
PS5.
PS5.
All right.
So
Are we talking just coming out this year in
just
general?
coming out this year. Anything that was discussed at
Okay.
E3. So
I gotta go for Nintendo. I gotta go Metroid and Breath of the Wild 2, but
all
obviously
right.
Breath of the Wild could come out next winter, for all I know. So if that's the
Yeah,
case, then I guess I go maybe Metroid and that Mario Party, just because nostalgically I'm excited for that.
there you
Yeah,
go.
but Metroid is probably my number one for Nintendo. And then across the board for everything else, Battlefield's got to be up there for PS5. And then probably just and Elden Ring. Elden Ring
Elden
would be my
Ring. There
other
you
one.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I was like,
I'm
there it
psyched
is.
for that. So I'd say Ratchet and Clank is on there too, but I mean that's out now. So yeah, that
Yes.
those are probably my top four. What about you? Anything? What are your top
So
two from Nintendo and top two from everything else?
so I'll start with PS5.
Okay,
I think you could probably call this one. I
Battlefield.
definitely Battlefield is the second one on the
Mm-hmm.
PS5 list. The first one's obviously Far Cry 6.
Oh
So
God, I
that
forgot about that.
one,
Yeah.
ooh, I am eagerly waiting for that game to come out. So, and then Nintendo, I'm gonna go with some of the I'm gonna stick close to some of the Mario stuff here.
Okay.
And I really want to return to Mario Party.
Yes.
I really hope this is a thing and we're able to, now that, I mean, you have a Switch, I have a Switch,
We can. Your
my
sister has a
sis
Switch.
my
The three
sister
of
Tiffany
us.
has a
Yeah.
Switch now, and that's a big, I mean, she was a serious Mario Party player back in the day. So
I'm sure Vinny is going to be watching or listening to this. Vinny, this would be the time.
this
Forget
would be the
Xbox and
time.
PS5. Buy a Switch. I think if the new one comes out, they're going to drop the price of the old one for sure. So
Yep, this is the
that
time.
that would be
It
that would
is
maybe be the one to
time.
go to, Vinny. But Yeah, I think
Um,
those are good choices.
yeah, so that one, and then it's a tough one for the second choice here, but I don't know if I wanted to go with the Wario
The
ware
WarioWare
game.
game.
I don't know if I wanted to say that one. I wanted to say before it all, but it wasn't announced. I mean, I am looking forward to the Pokemon game.
Yes. Yeah.
But the more that I think about it, I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna be Metroid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the choice today, but I'm thinking it will be
Down
the
the
choice
road.
because I think, like I said, I've got to check out more of this gameplay they released because they think they released, plenty of it.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be one of those things that's just going to grow and grow, as it gets closer to the release date. Where I'm like,
Sure.
yeah, I'm gonna have to
Pick it up. Yeah.
gonna have to pick this up. So,
Yeah, I feel like even if I can't find a PS5, Nintendo's got me covered probably for a good chunk of the rest of
it
the year.
does, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, you got Mario Golf in June, you got that Skyward
right.
Sword Zelda in July. August, I don't think there's anything, and then you got the fall, and you got all these other Switch games coming out. So
Yeah,
they're definitely going to have a
yeah.
decent amount of my money.
I'm glad you brought up Mario Golf. Yeah, that's coming up. What, June 25th?
I cannot
That's
wait.
coming
I'm
out. It's
excited.
gonna be awesome.
I'm
So
excited.
big Mario Golf. So,
Yeah.
so that's our E3
That's it.
coverage.
E3 is over.
We
It's in the
made it.
books. We made it.
Pretty
We made
good.
it.
Yeah, I'd say pretty decent. Pretty
Yeah.
decent.
What
Nothing.
would you? I'd say maybe like I don't know, 6.5, 7 overall.
I get, I
average?
was leaning 6.5.
6.5.
Actually.
Okay.
I think that's because there
You've
was
passed.
plenty that fell flat. So yes,
Yeah.
it is a passing grade. So
Definitely not as good as former or previous E3s, but I suppose it could be a lot worse. I think
right.
Nintendo kind of saved it in my book.
Did a lot of good Nintendo. So a lot of interesting Nintendo, very unique. So
unique, yeah.
So
way to go.
Oh man, it's been good.
Awesome. All right. Well, on that note, like Greg said, we have another episode of his vlog coming up in the near future. Consider them slimed. Episode 5, part 2 of his backlog, which will be Nintendo game based, right?
We're gonna do a special Nintendo's own Nintendo Switch version.
And I've been told my head will explode from this. So.
It will explode. I'm purposely, at least until
leaving me in the dark.
I'm purposely leaving you in the dark, and I'm just purposely not playing them. Well, I mean, I guess you can't even call it purposely, but I really want to wait because you remember the general rule is the disc or the cartridge cannot enter the console.
Yes, that's
like
true.
That is those are the rules behind.
Well, shit, you gotta record this soon
here.
Then. Keep going.
We're gonna get it going soon. That's coming your way. So
be on the lookout for that. We got another episode 10 of Baseball and Whatever. We're gonna grab Vinny and film again this week. We'll be talking plenty Cubs. Ugh, they're back on their losing ways. We'll talk plenty of Sox. Poor Nicky Bats is out for the season.
Nicky Two Strikes is out. We fear the worst.
So we'll dive into that. And I don't even know what our whatever topic is. We really need to talk about that at some point in the near future. So
we do. But if you have any ideas between now and then, say, hey, give us top 5. Whatever.
Something. We love making
baseball
lists.
And whatever. So
yeah, let us know. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, all the contact information is below. But if you're listening to this, we have facebook.com/baseball and whatever. You can email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. And you can find us on Twitter at baseball and what. Let us know. And if you want to reach out, if you go on the Baseball and Whatever Twitter account, there are links to me, Vinny, and Greg on Twitter. So feel free to reach out and talk to us. Let us know what you think. And yeah, that's all I got. So we will be in touch again soon. I hope you guys have a nice night. Hope you enjoyed E3. Here's to more video games down the road, and here's to me finding a PS5 so I can stop talking about it. So
I'm on the hunt with you, Justin. We're gonna find you one.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna
get it. So
all right. Well, on that note, there's Greg. I'm Justin. This has been a E3 reactions episode of Baseball and Whatever. Thank you for checking in, and we will catch you guys later. Take care, everybody.
All right. Good night, everyone.